Yeah, this is the starting, I think.
Brothers, sisters, siblings, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Jillette. My name is Michael Goudeau. Matt, Reddy, Rich, Penn, and I are broadcasting from our separate homes in Las Vegas. Goudeau is teaching Penn and Teller how to spin plates. Penn watched For All Mankind, and Goudeau is in trouble for laughing at his wife's terror. Here he is preaching love, Mr. Penn Jillette.
Preaching love, this is Penn Jillette right here with all the wacky hits. I don't know what we want to do first here. I guess, my father. Now, I had a very, very good relationship with my father. I often talk about my mother because my mom and I still believe we're the same person. We spoke the same syntax, and we understood each other in a way that I've never been understood or understood anybody in my life. So close to my mom. My sister used to say that she felt she had a perfect relationship with our mom and dad until I came along. And then she realized that my relationship with my mom was so much deeper. She said she had the best relationship with her mom of anybody she knew. Then I came along and it was almost telepathic. Because of that, I don't talk about my dad as much. But my dad, I was very close to. He was a perfect dad, so hardworking, so wonderful. And my dad said, my dad was very positive. I tell this story about him. When he was told by the doctors that he was going blind, that he would lose his eyesight, my dad was depressed for an hour and a half. That's how long it took him to shake that off. If you think I'm pathologically optimistic, you should have seen my dad. 90 minutes later, my dad said, I just got to figure out how to put a white cane on the front of my car so I can drive. Took him 90 minutes to say that. My dad, he got depressed occasionally. He got blue, as he would say. I'm a little blue right now, Penn. But he was so optimistic and so happy. And he was also so funny. What Teller always says is Penn got his sense of humor from his dad and his balls from his mom. My dad, as I said, was positive. And there were three things that my dad hated. He hated them. He avoided them, and he complained about them. Those three things were accordions, fuzzy caterpillars, I think they're called woolly bears, those orange and brown.
There is one called the woolly bear, yeah.
He hated those caterpillars. And we had them around in our yard, and my dad didn't like them. He didn't mind if I brought bugs in a jar. But keep those fuzzy caterpillars away from me. They made him uncomfortable. He thought they were ugly, and they made him feel creepy. Third, plate spinning. When there was a plate spinning act on Ed Sullivan or Hollywood Palace, we were watching it together. My dad said, I hate plate spinners. And he did not say it gently, like, oh, I don't care for that act. He seemed to hate the act and hate them. So I have, over the years, thought about writing a routine called For My Father with woolly caterpillars, accordions, and plate spinning. But I've never come up with it. I've written about 5 bits with plate spinning for Penn and Teller in my career. And all 5 bits didn't make it past the drawing board. We've come up with a better idea. The original water tank, the bit we did in Saturday Night Live and Letterman that we were very well known for. We also did it on Fool Us, where Teller's in a water tank drowning. That was originally had Teller drowning when I was spinning plates. But the problem is that it's a backwards thing, right? Because in the water tank, you need to, if you want to play the comedy, you need what I'm trying to do to go longer than it's supposed to. And with plate spinning, if you're not doing a good job, it goes shorter than it's supposed to. And also, we couldn't have the punchline that breaks the wall. As you know, in the water tank, the card that I'm unsuccessful in finding is found in Teller's face mask. Yeah. So that fell apart. We had another bit where we were doing, for Christmas, I had a plate spinning bit that didn't make it. There was another plate spinning bit that didn't make it. And finally, I've got one that I'm hoping will make it. And I will tell, because, the people listen to the podcast. They also watch Fool Us. I like the premise. You like the premise, Goudeau?
I do like the premise, yes.
We're going to do an overhead shot. Now, when I was explaining this to Teller, I said like the June Taylor dancers. But nobody under 60 knows what that means. But an overhead shot of the plate spinning rig, which will be like, 15 places that the plates are going to be spun. And the audience will pick a number at random themselves individually. And they will put a piece of tape or a Post-it note right on their television over that plate. And then Teller and I will do a plate spinning routine, and the final plate standing will have been predicted by the audience at home. They'll be trying to predict that. So in order,
a great trick.
So in order to do that, we need to have a rig with 15 plates in a like a queue setup that Teller and I will keep going. Now, I've done plate spinning a couple times. One of these ideas I had, I think the one for the water tank, I had the idea, and then I went to the Caribbean with a Victoria's Secret model that I was dating. And turns out, when I had my stick and my plate in a beach in the Caribbean and a topless Victoria's Secret model, turns out I had less time than expected to practice the plate spinning, if you know what I mean. She came out to watch me do the plate spinning a few times. And when she came out to watch me, strangely enough, it distracted me more than focused me. Turns out a topless woman on the beach in the Caribbean watching me plate spin leads to a shorter practice time than alone in the backyard.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So, Goudeau, had you done plate spinning before? You sent us one video.
I know. I have not done it before this week. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that the plate spinning world is surprisingly tight-lipped.
Really?
I wrote to a couple of people that I know who spin plates and said, "How does this work?" And their whole reply was the dollar store.
Mm-hmm.
That was their advice. Get plates at the dollar store.
Did you do that?
The dollar store didn't have any plates that I was confident would work.
Big article in the New Yorker, by the way, about how the dollar store in poor neighborhoods is doing real damage to the communities.
Yeah, very strange, huh?
Yeah. Did you read the article?
I did not, but I saw that it was their complaint.
Really?
A magnet for murder.
The concept of it's expensive to be poor has been around in different articles for a while now, but it is so strange to look at it like it might be a predatory practice.
They also cut it down in order to do it as cheaply as they do. They do very little security, and because they're in very bad neighborhoods, they're sometimes the only cash business. So they get robbed all the time, and the employees get injured badly. Hmm. And they also, I think the most damning thing, which was not covered in the New Yorker, is they don't carry the plates for plate spinning.
Yeah, that was my discovery.
Yeah.
And the most disappointing part. So I went to a restaurant supply store and bought 4 different types of plates and brought them home and started playing with them.
Are they all breakable?
Yeah, they're all breakable. Yeah, they're all very nice ceramic dinner plates that you would find at a nice restaurant.
And how much they cost?
The most expensive one is about $4.50 a piece. The cheapest is about $2 each.
So this will be a not really cheap bid for us to do, right? No, I guess I don't know, $75 probably, but $50 a time.
My suggestion is we save the really nice spinning ones and buy cheap ones to break. There's
but the breaking is a must for a proper plate spinning routine, right?
Yes.
Well, plate spinners don't think that. If you go online and type in plate spinning, you'll get all tin and plastic plates. But these are for amateurs, right?
Yeah, those are zero skill involved. There's zero skill involved. You just spin it and it'll stay on any stick. It's got a dent in it and it's designed like a cone in the middle so that it sits in the middle of it and it works perfectly all the time.
And once the energy's gone, it still just sits there, right?
Yeah, it'll sit there without spinning. Yeah, exactly. A plate placing act. Which is not quite as fun. So I brought them home, tried to spin them in the backyard. I bought a dowel.
Do you know ahead of time the good spinability of a plate, Goudeau, by handling it in store?
Yes, I felt that I did. I want a heavy plate because I want it to spin for a long time, and I want that momentum.
Okay.
So I got very heavy, like I said, good quality ceramic plates. I brought home a stick.
And just like when you're searching on Pornhub, you also want rim, right?
Yep, you need a little bit of rim. I got the ones with the most rim. That was actually the heavy plate, lot of rim.
And did you go, are they all regular china colored, or did you go?
Yeah, they're just white. They're just plain white plates. And some people online, when you look up acts, there's a great Charlie Callis bit. He's put tape on the side of his plate so you can see them spinning on TV. But that's because his are gimmicked in a way that they don't wobble. He's not really plate spinning, but you guys are actually going to be plate spinning, which, as it turns out, is a skill like a juggling trick, and not entirely without some practice.
Now, do you sharpen the Dowels?
I did sharpen the dowel, but
was there Whittling involved?
There was no Whittling involved. You know what I did? I went in my backyard and
occasionally, only once actually, I decided that once in a while I decide that I need another hobby. And I am always a little bit self-conscious that I have no artistic ability.
Right.
And although my friend David Silverman, I have two David Silvermans friends.
Yeah.
Other people have two Ratso friends. I have two David Silvermans. One is he's actually in trouble, I think, for some stuff, but was the head of American Atheists for a while. And the other one is one of the creators of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And the one who's the creator of The Simpsons thinks that I should learn to draw. But I have decided occasionally that I would like to take up whittling. And I thought, boy, if I could whittle, and that I could whittle like a bird, like a little bird that I would have made of wood that I would say,
whistle.
I whittle that bird, and then I'd make one of those little cages with the ball in it, that they whittle.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I bought a whittling kit, which had whittling knives and whittling wood and a whittling book. And although I like saying the word whittling, I did not enjoy whittling at all.
Oh.
Also, I don't want to have special tools. I think you should be whittling with a pocket knife.
Yeah.
Sitting on the back porch. And in that case, my dog would be useful. If I were sitting in a rocking chair whittling with a dog sitting next to me, everything would be perfect, except people would say, why does your poodle dog have a weird relief map shaved into him? Have you ever done any whittling, Matt?
My dad whittled when I was a kid, and he made two things that I remember. One of them was he made a monkey out of a peach pit.
Hard whittling.
Carved a little tiny monkey out of a peach pit,
Wow.
circled around so that its tail was touching its nose, kind of like it was curled around itself. It was really cool. And he also carved a chain out of a block.
My dad carved one of those blocks that has the cage with with a ball in it.
Nice.
Did you ever do any whittling there already?
My grandfather made art out of seashells, and it was at the level that you've talked about this before, where it both inspires you and frustrates you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just never did any sort of visual
What
art.
did he do with seashells?
He would make like little scenes of things.
Oh, I thought it was performance art, and he glued them over his nipples and the head of his penis and danced. That's what I was picturing for your grandfather.
Like a canasta dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what did he do, actually? I mean, that he shared with you, because I still believe my dance happened with your grandfather.
He made little scenes of things, like a boy fishing or something. Like
all,
that.
all with gluing seashells?
Yes.
Oh, dear. That's hard.
Wow.
Well, I have a while before I'll be a grandfather, and maybe I can take up Whittling once again. But let's go. That all came off me wanting to use the word Whittling with you with your dowels. So how did you sharpen your dowels if you did not whittle? As a matter of fact, for those of you who listen to our show, in order to learn English, let's work on this sentence. So how did you sharpen your dowels if you did not use whittling? Go ahead.
I tried sandpaper.
That's the title of the show, by the way.
Hope you can remember it because I don't. I tried sandpaper and that was too slow. And so I went out. I have a cinder block wall, and the seams between the cinder block walls are kind of angled at like a 45-degree angle. And so I rubbed the end of the stick up and down in the block walls.
What about a pencil sharpener?
It was the dowel was too fat for a pencil sharpener. And your office is closed, so I can't use the sanding tools that you would normally have.
Yeah.
And so I've done a
We're
crazy
closed,
way.
Goudeau, because there's a virus going around.
No, I understand why it's closed. I didn't question why.
If you found out right now, that would have been so weird.
There every other day I've been. So I sharpened them by rubbing them up and down the wall in my backyard.
And did you start a fire at the same time?
No, I did not start a fire at the same time.
Now, so you have this. Do you have more than one dowel?
I have many sizes of dowels. I ordered probably 6 or 7 of them delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that the 1/2 inch is the right size for plate spinning, as far as I can tell.
This is some hardcore whittling research. Not whittling, sorry. This is some hardcore plate spinning. Yeah.
All scraping. I like the way the smaller dowels feel, but when you spin the plate on them, the plate not only spins and does the cool stuff, but it also leans over and around while it's going.
On the shorter ones?
Yeah, on the skinnier ones, it moves too much. And on the fatter ones, it just doesn't look very cool at all. So 1/2 inches turned out to be the right dowel size in the secret world of plate spinning.
Yeah, which we're now breaking wide open.
We're gonna break it wide open.
We just became the #1 plate spinning podcast.
Yeah, well, we're going to get Mueller because he's not working now. Mueller's going to come in.
Mueller, yeah.
Mueller. I always say Mueller, but it's Mueller. Mueller's going to come in. Bob Mueller. He's done with the whole Russian investigation.
Yeah,
He's going to
recently wrote a little op-ed, got that out of the way.
Yep. So he's clear, free and clear now. He's going to be doing break open, wide open, the plate spinning with the Russia connection.
Russia sells the plastic plates with the dimples in the middle.
Those weasels.
Did you know, Matt Donnelly, that 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35?
Get out of town.
It's true. It's true.
Lean in a little more.
The best way to prevent hair loss, that we said 2 out of 3 people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need 2. I'm leaning. I'm waiting for the other one to lean.
The best way to prevent hair loss, do something about it while you still have hair left. Get treated from home. You used to have to go to a doctor's office for your hair loss prescription. Now, thanks to Keeps, you can visit a doctor online and get hair loss medication delivered right to your home. They make it easy and deliver your medication every 3 months, so you can say goodbye to pharmacy checkout lines and awkward doctor visits. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. You may have tried them before, but they probably never for this price. Prevention is key. Keeps treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months or more to see results. So it's important to act fast. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you'll save. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than its competitors, and nearly 100,000 men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. Keeps treatments start at $10 a month. Wow.
Nice.
Plus, for a limited time, you can get your first month free. How's that? Pretty good, huh? You're going to be trying this? We're going to be trying this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should. I don't know if they say, you want to start early. What about you, Goudeau?
I'm doing okay. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, here's what we're going to tell you about Keeps. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/pen to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/PEN. Boy, you're terrible at that.
Pen.
KEEPS.com. KEEPS.com. Keeps, and make sure that you try this as soon as possible. Keep as much hair as you possibly can right there. Here's another one for you. We know about this. Has your morning or evening routine changed recently? Has that impacted your oral care? When things, food, drink, household goods, games, puzzles are getting delivered to your home, why not also get your oral hygiene delivered to your home? It's the best. It's the best to just have your toothbrush and change. The head changes when you need it to change, and your toothpaste come. Good health starts with good habits. Quip makes it easy by delivering all your oral care essentials you need to brush and floss better. The Quip electric toothbrush is timed sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to guide a dentist-recommended 2-minute routine. There's even a sized-down version for children. Paired with Quip's anti-cavity toothpaste in mint or watermelon, you can get all the ingredients teeth actually need and none that they don't. Quip also has an eco-friendly refillable floss with a dispenser you keep for life and expanding string that helps to clean in between. What a good idea. Quip brush head, toothpaste, and floss refills are automatically delivered on a dentist-recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5? Every time I read that, it amazes me. A friendly reminder when it's time to refresh and stay committed to your oral health, and shipping is free. Sonic vibrations, built-in timer, great everything. And if you go to getquip.com/pen right now, you'll get a free refill free. That's the first refill free at getquip.com/pen. That's spelled GETQUIP.com/PENN. Yeah. Quip, the good habits company. That got me thinking. I just want to give you guys a little quiz. What is this? AHRBQDWEFLMNSXGIJKOPCTVYUZ.
The alphabet inside out?
The alphabet what? The alphabet is right, but the alphabet what?
Inside out.
Let me hear it again. Just part of it.
AHRBQDWEFL. What's you should have it by then.
Yeah, in quarters?
Nope.
By height?
Nope. Reddy's got the best chance of this.
I don't have it yet.
Listen carefully. A H.
Oh, it's alphabetical by
alphabetical
sound.
order. Yes, it's the alphabet in alphabetical order.
That's funny.
Yeah,
nice.
I want to give credit to the guy who wrote Eunoia. That book that I love, whose name I just blanked. Bach. B.O.K. Christian Bach. B.O.K. is where I saw it, but Neil deGrasse Tyson also had it. So the alphabet in alphabetical order.
I'm fond of the word that it spells.
The alphabet or that one?
Abkadefka Hij Klimnov Korstiv Wixes.
Yeah, Big Bird used to sing that, I think.
So what else can you tell us about plate spinning there, Goudeau?
Well, after sharpening the sticks, I drilled holes in a piece of wood so it would stand up, and then clamped that to a plastic table in my backyard and started spinning plates. Really hard to get the plates to stay on, and so I took the point and I dipped it in plastic dip, so that the tip of the stick is now plastic rubber, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I spin the plates on it, and that helps a little bit. But they're still coming off really, it's still too hard for me. And so I took the plates and I sprayed the bottom with like this kind of a sticky, tacky plastic spray and let that dry on the bottom of the plates. And now it spins perfectly.
You want to give the brand name of the plastic spray?
I don't remember the brand name of the plastic stuff.
He's not giving away all of his secrets.
Yeah, come on. We're already blowing the plate spinning world upside down here. I don't know if other plate spinners
By the way,
do it this
plate
way.
spinning upside down is not entertaining.
Yeah, a really weird shaped
No,
dowels.
there
for
are
that.
guys doing it. There are guys doing it. You know, they set it on the table and then spin it with their fingers. You seen that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that's plate spinning upside down. So it turns out with the plastic dip, which wears off on the top where it's spinning instantly. So there's no plastic actually touching the plate there. But the spray, the tacky spray on it, gets kind of worn out in the center of the plate, and so it's the only smooth spot. So the plate will spin for a really long time without any wobbling. And then when it starts to wobble, the stick goes to the outside rim of the plate. And that's when you can grab it and spin it like you've seen plate spinners do on the Ed Sullivan Show, and speed them up. So it'll get super wobbly and be hanging off of that rim, and then you can speed it back up by
Can
spinning.
you start it on the rim instead of the center?
You can't start it on the rim instead of the center. It's just more difficult to do, and it doesn't last as long. If you spin it in the center, you probably have 2 minutes before that plate falls off.
Yeah.
So it's pretty great.
Your next masterclass instructor is Michael Goudeau.
That's right. I will teach you the secrets of plate spinning.
For only a small additional charge. Because, this is much more valuable than Steve Martin talking about comedy.
This is the real work. This
Real
is the
work.
real plate spinner work.
Now, I feel bad that we haven't worked in yet an accordion and a fuzzy caterpillar.
Those bothered your dad, huh? Fuzzy caterpillars?
He hated them.
Most people find them cute. He hated them.
Hated them. And accordions.
There were black spiky ones in Louisiana that I have stepped on that stung really, really badly.
There's
And left a
everything
really-
awful in Louisiana. Everything awful.
Left a caterpillar shroud of Turin on the bottom of my foot.
So you'd be running away from the alligators.
Yeah, step on a caterpillar. And people say, why do you never go barefoot? It's because the guy grew up in Louisiana. I stepped on caterpillars and bees.
Oh, no
I do
fun there.
not. Yeah, so at one point I had an opportunity to go on naked and afraid, but I couldn't wear no shoes.
Did you have that opportunity?
I had that opportunity. They said, would you be interested in being on the show? And I said, I can't go barefoot for 21 days.
Was that
28
really
days.
it? I mean, wouldn't it be a good gig for you, Goudeau?
I think it'd be a good gig for me, but I really can't go barefoot.
Was it really that? Was it just that?
It was really just that.
Not scheduling and other things like missing a loved one's events.
I could use a gig right now. There's no juggling in the world.
So you're reconsidering now?
I'm
Taking your shoes
reconsidering now. Yeah, I'm starting to walk around without my shoes on to try to toughen my feet up a little bit.
I go barefoot all the time.
I
Not in my backyard. I used to.
wear shoes in the pool.
You could still do Alone.
What's that?
You could still do Alone, History Channel's version.
Oh yeah, I like that one too. That's a good one because those people thrive. You know what I mean? On Naked and Afraid, they're naked and afraid for 28 days or 21 days, and then they're let out. But on Alone, they build houses and thrive and hunt. And when the 100 days is up, there's some of them who are going to go, you know what? I'll be ready in a few days. Let me finish cleaning up here. I just like the idea of thriving.
What Cray Ray always points out is you don't have to eat.
No,
Yeah.
not in Naked and Afraid. You would not have to eat.
Has anybody done that in the show?
No, I don't
Nobody?
think so. I think some of them don't eat much, but I think they do all end up eating a lizard or a bug at some point.
I guess they probably want that.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, yeah, I bet that's encouraged.
Yeah.
I felt like Naked and Afraid. I would do something funny every day for 21 days. At the end of that time, you'd go, "Oh, that was funny."
Yeah.
I haven't ever seen a funny Naked and Afraid. I think I could be the first.
And are they really naked the whole time?
Yeah.
And they just blur it?
Yep, they just blur it. Every now and then one of them builds something or finds a piece of clothing on a beach and wears it, but most of the time it's just blurred out. They carry a bag. They get to carry a bag, and so they put the bag in front of their personal private parts there.
They have to allow sunblock and stuff, right?
They don't. And many people fail out the first day. They drop them off on a beach and they go, "Woo, we're on a beach. We're on a beach. This is going to be a party." And then the next day they're crying and lying on the ground.
Now, do the people make their own sunblock?
They cover themselves with mud, or they build clothes out of leaves that they can wear over their shoulders and stuff. So, yeah, but a lot of them sunburn. It's bad. A lot of them get sunburned. A lot of them get bitten by something. A lot of them get rashes.
I'm in.
We should do our own version.
with the last
Mostly naked. Very afraid.
last name Donnelly. My mother's maiden name is Flanagan. I'm not afraid of sunburn. Let's go.
I'm thinking after being 4 months with my family in a house, naked and alone sounds great.
You have a partner. Yeah, you're placed with someone of the apparent opposite sex of you, and so you have to form a partnership and survive that as well.
Oh,
Good.
And some of them are awful.
I could just in advance shave sorry into my chest hair.
First day, pull that shirt
Just-
off and say sorry. Again,
Sorry,
like I said, no one has been funny yet.
Sorry, I'm your partner.
Yeah, I have no skills. I'm just willing to not eat for 21 days.
I have no skills and I already have sunburn in the place where it says sorry.
And you see this rash?
I'm coming here to get rid of the rash, get rid of the sunburn.
This is just a diet for me. It's a water fast.
Now, Matt Donnelly, to change the tone a little bit, you've just come back from your father-in-law's funeral.
Yes, and he was, like I said, he was a veteran of Vietnam. So there's a national cemetery in Riverside, California.
Now, what do you do in Vietnam?
He was in the infantry, and he also did a little bit of intelligence. One of his medals or whatever it's called was for sharpshooting. But he saw battle and spent the last few years actually participating in like a PTSD program with the VA and offering like group support and that kind of stuff. We were out at the Riverside, California thing, and they did the full military honor thing, and it's an all volunteer deal, which I think is amazing. But they come out and they have you have a waiting area, but they bring you over to a ceremony space, and in that ceremony space, they have the full military people in their formal garb, and and you're like,
are these retired military personnel?
yes,
All of them.
I believe so, yeah. And everybody was masked up. There's social distance with the chair arrangements and things like that. It was all outdoors. As someone who's no military or anything like that, like the idea of a 21 gun salute is, like, oh, okay. But when you actually are in the presence of it for a military funeral, and 21 gun salute goes off, and then someone
They
plays
shoot
taps.
7 guns 3 times. Is that what they do?
Yes, yeah. And then someone plays taps like across the pond. Oh, powerful.
Yeah, I would think.
And then they had a flag over the casket, and it was it's a thing for my children, especially with one of them so young, not really processing the whole deal necessarily. I think the imagery of seeing the two military officers perfectly, execute that raising of the flag and folding it
Yeah.
and then presenting it to the
For
family.
the bit in our show, we learned that flag.
Yeah. And I was like, that's a real, when you do it in your show, it's impressive to see it. When it's done well, it's really impressive to see. And I think it was just a powerful image for my children to know about them. You know, each night we put them to bed, we try to tell them what they're grateful for, you know. And then so that night I said, even though today was a tough day, guys, it's still important to say 3 things we're grateful for. And so my oldest said, I'm grateful that my grandfather defended the freedom of our country. And I was like, wow, well, I did not teach him those words. and so, impression made there. And then he was presented with not a plaque, but, a formal kind of, where'd you get like a degree or, a certificate type of deal. Yeah. I was thanking him for being a veteran, and it was signed by his favorite president, Donald J. Trump.
Was Donald J. Trump his favorite president?
It was, we're going through his stuff. It's interesting to see how much, that's really the, we had a guest on our show who talked about how this particular time is dividing families like no other time. Right. People have different stuff. And so, my relationship with my father-in-law was difficult because of political leanings, and maybe we talked less frequently because of it. What was interesting is that by participating in these programs where he was helping his fellow veterans all the time and dealing with his own PTSD, he changed course over the last couple of years and actually put things aside like you would normally do for family. And this death came on suddenly, so it was we were very grateful that it did go down that way, that we put our politics aside and talked a little more often these last couple of years. And it's like, it kind of left me that reminder too, that as like my own children or even deal with my own friends, that you want to, I just want to get back to that time where we could do that. Right. I mean, there are times where you got together with family and stuff and you just knew you felt differently about politics, but you didn't care that much enough to let it affect your interpersonal conversations,
What are people calling it now? Flight 91? Is that the slang term? What is the flight that was supposed to go into the Pentagon? No, the flight that the passengers took down.
Oh, I don't remember the actual flight number, but you're talking about 9/11?
What's that? I mean, it's a really, really good term. Someone's looking that up, right? Ready?
Goudeau is.
Goudeau is, yes. I am.
But people are using this like United 91. They're using that.
93.
United 93, right? They're saying United 93, which is a slang term that's really useful. It means people believing that their actions are even greater than life and death.
Right.
So when people get anti-Trump United 93 or pro-Trump United 93,
yeah,
it turns it into the fact that you don't think that you think that what's happening in politics really is more important than a loving Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, and the truth is that when we were handed the certificate with his signature on it, we laughed. We're like, he would have loved this.
Yeah.
And it's and it made the day better to receive it because of that.
And always so startling that Donald Trump can write at least his name.
Yeah, although I have some thoughts about that signature, but yeah, it's really weird. It does not look like it says Donald Trump, but
have you seen pens?
Even pen changes.
Pens might say Donald Trump as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's so powerful, and and again, when we were around for the end of his life, and then again regathered with family for this thing, like, man, do you not care about politics?
Yeah. Now, was there also I don't know how military stuff is done at all. Was there also a service around that, a religious service?
He in particular, he participated in recovery, and so he did kind of readopt Catholicism towards the end, and so there's a
priest there.
A priest there that he had known and participated in parts of the VA program with that he did. He definitely did a lot of the. I mean, he did the thing where he talked about like he's gone, but you could see him again, and then kind of like riffing was like, I mean, he's not going to come back to you, but you can go to him. And I just thought, wow, this is a weird direction to give people. And in that moment, there was a collage made, and in a photo of him with my boys was in that collage, and I kind of chose that moment to go ahead and direct attention to the picture of my boys with their pup up and have them reflect on their own for a moment while the talk of which direction we want to take our reuniting was going to take place. Just because, I mean, again, I want to be respectful of other people.
There's there's that space between Resurrection and Jonestown.
Yeah, exactly, right? And that's what I felt like the speech was getting a little towards Jonestown. And I think one of the weird things about, because of this podcast and other things, that maybe we're a little bit more of an outspoken atheist than maybe some regular, more average, keep to yourself kind of atheist. I think the hard part is when you are in situations like that and you become, like you're almost called out for it. Like, we're going through this thing and like, oh, you're here and I know you don't believe this stuff kind of thing comes out. And the last thing you want to do is have an impact on those other people's grieving process.
And they also don't do it to, people would not say, oh, I know you're not Catholic.
Right.
Yeah.
You
have some Protestants here.
Yeah.
I know this isn't your thing, but they only do it to atheists. It
gets a little difficult there or whatever. But I also had to like warn knowing this guy was going to perform the ceremony in kind of the way that it did. We were accurately afraid of the direction of it might go. We talked to the kids ahead of time just to be like, hey, a lot of people are going to say all kinds of things, and everybody's going to be recovering in their own way and dealing with Papa's death in their own way. So you might hear people talk about God and that kind of stuff. And
yeah, sometimes people will make up crazy shit.
That's what I say. Here comes the funny part.
Yeah. So it's just again, it's interesting to navigate those things, and then also just to know that it's also easier too. Like that felt like a big thing going into it, and then it being a very small thing that I was dealing with my children at the end of it.
Yeah. Well, if you don't beat that stuff into children, it kind of just washes over them.
Yeah, it really does.
When my children were born, I kind of thought that the atheism thing would be a real thing for their whole life. But they're 14 and 15 and they don't attack religious people. They don't think bad stuff about them. It's just when they have a friend who's religious, it's just a shrug.
Yeah, it's such a different thing. Even I have two friends who were raised, atheist agnostic, right? They even said like, oh, I didn't even know the term atheist until I was older. But no, just my house just didn't have it.
Yeah.
There's so much more. My two friends that I have, close friends that I have, are so much more at ease with that stuff. And I who had the departure, a departure from Catholicism, a departure from spirituality. It's so much more of an angry thing for me sometimes.
Yeah, Teller was raised with no religion.
Yeah,
because his father was raised Jewish.
Yeah.
His mother was raised Christian, and they had to elope because the parents did not approve.
Oh, geez.
So they just threw religion out of their lives.
Yeah.
So Teller came along, and they was just never brought up.
Yeah, it's so much easier. The calmness of it is something I'm jealous of, and seeing my children, I'm like grateful and hopeful that it's that ease with them, and not about this crazy decision to about those kinds of things. And maybe they'll rant less about the Catholic Church than I do.
Yeah. But also, they also know that my daughter is very, very involved in the LBGTQMOP community and LGBTQ. I guess it's now what she calls it.
And is that an alphabetical order?
Yeah. And so that, because she is so involved in that community, that brings up anti-religious stuff. Because
oh, sure. Yeah.
the only, you don't have, it's very rare that you have non-religious objections to other people's sexuality.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose it's possible. But
yeah, it's rare is probably the right term.
So what else? Anything else, Goudeau? Anything else happened with you?
Well, you know what? I got in trouble this week for laughing at my wife's fears. We're out in the backyard, and there are bats flying in our backyard, and my wife is just terrified. And I said, come over here, sit next to me. We'll watch them. It'll be okay. And then one of them flew near her, and she just was horrified and screaming at the top of her lungs. And I could not stop laughing.
Always
she was
good
terrified, and I could not stop laughing. And my daughter started laughing. Oh, she's been quiet around my house since then.
Speaking of bats, we got a wonderful note from a listener.
Yeah.
With that wonderful video of our listener with bats, and a nice little note that said, I have tickets to your Oklahoma show that is supposed to be this weekend and got rescheduled for some time in the future. Last time I met you, I was a woman and you were fat. Now I'm a man and you were skinny. I'd love a new picture.
Oh, wonderful.
I was also, it was a new way for me to see trans. This sentence had me see trans in a whole different way. It was a real eye-opening experience. I was a woman and you were fat. Now I'm a man and you were skinny. That we do make body changes that aren't just gender.
Right.
And I guess if you had asked me, I would have known that, but someone had to say it poetically like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a truthfulness. And when we don't have the body we think we have, it can create discomfort. Sure.
It's interesting because I've always used fake tits as a defense.
Yeah. You mean in judo?
Sure.
Yeah, they're like throwing stars, but a little heavier.
And who else did I want to deal with? Oh, yeah, I got this really nice note from Valor Trucks. And I did a cameo for them at cameo.com. I did a really nice thing talking about Butch Trucks, who was the drummer for the Allman Brothers. And I just really, really like this. Valor Trucks' father is Butch Trucks, who was the drummer for the Allman Brothers. And the Allman Brothers are considered Southern rock, and that's often tied to the Confederate flag. And we said that thing about how if you really want to reclaim the Confederate flag, reclaim it, get it away from the racists. And I did not know this, but Gregg Allman had this to say about the use of that symbol. This is a quote from Gregg Allman of the Allman Brothers. Well, I was taught how to play music by these very, very kind older black men. My best friend in the world is a black man. If people are going to look at that flag and think of it as representing slavery, then I say burn every one of them. From the guitar player, from Gregg Allman of the Allman Brothers.
Right.
Keep in mind, the Allman Brothers started as a mixed-race band from Macon, Georgia in 1969. When they started, there was no such thing as Southern rock. Originally, they were classified as progressive blues. It certainly is true that many fans of the Allman Brothers also identified with the Confederate flag, but the band itself was never comfortable with it. That's exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Why don't you reclaim it? And the Allman Brothers' solution was not to reclaim it, but just to say, fuck it. And I think you can't get more representative of the South and Southern rock than the Allman Brothers.
Right.
Nice.
Maybe Leonard Skinner, but Allman Brothers started it.
No, I had there's a friend of mine in their high school is changing from a Warriors with a Native American mascot to a new name. And they're talking about how controversial it was on like their, Facebook high school message board or something like that, And what was interesting to me was like I had a mascot in high school that was not Native American based. It was the Bucks, Pirates, Buccaneers, right? Mm-hmm. holy shit, could I not give a shit if they were going to change the mascot? Like, if they're going to change to, like, whatever, Bears, Wildcats, Badgers. I don't, like, it's strange to me that, like, it actually is the racial component that makes it so passionate, Like, if they were going to change anything else, there's no way there'd be a fiery message board about, no, we have to keep the pirate logo. Like, there's just no way.
I don't even know what mascots mean at a school.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember what my high school one was.
Yeah.
I think we were the green wave.
Yeah.
We were a wave.
Yeah.
We weren't even a particle.
And now that the oceans are evaporating, we must change the name.
I wanted to say this. My children are trying to get into Las Vegas Academy, which is a performing arts school. And although Mox wants to go for tech, which is very smart, she said that she would like to work as a magician and she better know all the tech stuff.
Wow.
She's right.
She wants to learn lighting and sound and props and all that stuff. But in order to get into the school, she still has to do a singing video, a acting video, and a mime video. And my son wants to go because my son loves comedy, although not his father's kind. And he has to do a singing video. So Z sang 76 trombones. Moxie sang some web thing. Thomas Sanders, who she loves, has his web song. And they did a scene that was recommended. And then they had to do a mime piece. And because when we are, especially my wife, when there's something to do, she find any way she can to cheat. She got your wife
Yes.
take their singing and their acting. And we got Stephen Banks, Billy the Mime,
Oh, yeah.
to go over their mime pieces. And Stephen Banks said, if when we met 41 years ago, you and I had been told that 41 years from now, I'll be giving your son notes on his mime audition, we would have not been able to stop laughing. But anyway, so my children have, because we want them to go to the same school. Because we've had two children go to different schools, it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So we don't care if you give a fuck about the arts, you're going to arts.
Are they totally on board with this decision as well?
They are. Although the auditions are a great, they're doing them on video, of course, because of the, COVID. But there's a lot of nervousness. I don't know if you had to do an audition of 30 seconds of a song, 30 seconds of a performance, and 30 seconds of a mime.
I'd have a hard time with that right now.
Yeah, I think it's a tough thing. I mean,
I
Goudeau,
think you could shoot it in 90 seconds.
The problem is what I'd mime would get me kicked out of the school, I think. That would be the hard part.
As long as it's good.
well, you would do all the scenes while juggling, right, Goudeau?
Yeah, why not?
If I was truly being instructed by Billy the Mime, I believe I would do things that would not get me into that school.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But he did a fishing mime.
Uh-huh.
And Moxie did a opening a present mime.
Oh.
And the scenes they did were, I was surprised, very dramatic and depressing. Son talking about a bad relationship with his mother.
Yeah.
And Moxie talking, I guess they're famous scenes, but I didn't know them. And Moxie doing her brother who was taking care of her without her parents getting married and losing her brother.
She should have done Taxi Driver. How great would that have been?
In high school, I just wanted to do the most dramatic things, So I remember doing the Jack Nicholson monologue from A Few Good Men, which is just, for an 18-year-old to be doing that is pretty dumb. But you get to shout a lot, and so that was good. But yeah, you just want to shout and show that you can do all the emotions.
And I'm watching For All Mankind. Have you seen this?
No.
It's the alternate fiction. What is it called? Historical alternate history? Yeah, alternate history. It's a story of the Russians land first on the moon, and the space race continues. And It has Michael Dorman in it. And I will watch anything with Michael Dorman because I have such a crush on him because he's the star of Patriot.
Yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed it. It's feminism and women. I mean, to fight the feminist thing, Mike Jones called it Chicks in Space. But it's and it's also nice because it has alternate realities because the Russians land first on the moon and there's a big conference that's called. And so Chappaquiddick doesn't happen. So Ted Kennedy's president.
Oh, funny.
So Ted Kennedy follows Nixon.
Oh, neat. What app is that on?
It's on Apple Plus.
Apple Plus.
And and what's his name? Kinnerman, Greg Kinnerman or something. He's the guy who was in The Killing. He's a Swedish actor. It's amazing. I did research after I watched the whole thing. All these people with Southern accents and they're all from South Africa, London, New Zealand. I didn't know Michael Dorman was from New Zealand.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Sweden. I mean, there's no Americans. American accents to them are like playing elves. You know, they don't consider there's real Americans you could use. They just use other people.
We need to start protesting.
Yeah, exactly. And I wonder, like, if they're
not using enough old white guys.
There's no American actors who are out of work. So we have to import them.
I wonder if it's as fun, like we doing a terrible Cockney accent. I wonder if it's as fun for them to do American accents.
Well, I think they do them well, though. That's the problem.
I know. Yeah, it puts us to shame.
I didn't know that this the woman who the main Southern woman in it is from London, and the other main woman is from South Africa.
I just saw Knives Out, and Daniel Craig is doing a Southern accent.
Yeah, but he's just having fun.
It's really funny, though.
He's just having fun. He's just playing. These guys are doing it for real. He's playing. But it's fun. I like. I didn't know, and I watched Plot Against America. I never thought I liked alternate history shows, but I kind of do.
Yeah, Plot Against America is the whole thing. I knew the Lindbergh thing a little bit, but I only recently heard a thing about Charles Lindbergh on a podcast, and I was like, oh, there's some real easy inspiration for that.
Yeah.
Charles Lindbergh sympathizing with the Nazis and stuff like that.
I think he kind of sort of did.
And then there's a new show on HBO, same network. They do the thing with the Perry Mason. They have a botched kidnapping in that, which I was like, I feel like the head of programming at HBO just read a Lindbergh biography and was just greenlit.
You know what the shocking thing about Perry Mason is?
What's that?
He walks through the title. Did you see that? Have you seen it?
No.
It's something I've never seen done. You know, when the visual comes on, you're watching the show, and then big white letters come on. And they say, Perry Mason, big white letters. You've seen that a million times, except a character is walking, and when he walks through the credit. So it's not laid on top of it. It's laid part of the way back. I mean, conceptually.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
But I've never seen that before, and it's so shocking. What are you doing walking? Are you out of your mind? That's not there.
You just made some editors so happy noticing that detail.
Yeah, well, it's a big detail. I mean, when you watch, Perry Mason's just trying so hard to be so noir, you know.
I know.
They're having a blast with it. But, I don't care about the show. But we watch it because my mother-in-law wants to watch it, my wife, so I watch it with them.
Yeah.
And it's fine. But if you're not going to watch it, watch the first 5 minutes, watch him walk through the credit. You'll go, whoa, he's walking through the credits. So anything else? Anything going on with you, Reddy? You got your hair cut?
That's it. Big achievement for the week.
Well, I get a bird feeder, but I'll report on that next week. So I look forward to.
A tease.
But for right now, that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
And to our listening ears,
You become naked.
nature sang and round us rang the music of the spheres.
It sure was. Yeah, Charles Lindbergh, a lot of inspiration. Maybe we should learn more about fuzzy caterpillars. You become, oh no, you know we love you.
Especially if you become naked.